All right, friends, we're going to take a peek at a few little bit more complex situations and write them with functions. Now, I don't think that they're any harder. They just take a little bit more focus to make sure you get all of the information in there. So this one's a little bit longer, and as I go, I'm going to kind of underline some things to make sure that I understand and I don't miss anything. So it says, the new aquarium lets a family buy a season pass that will let them come to the aquarium as many times as they want during the whole year. There's a $20 activation fee, and then you are charged for the number of family members you add on to that pass. Adults cost $15 to add on. Teenagers aged 13 to 18 years old cost $11 to add on, and children from ages 2 to 12 cost $7 to add on. Write a function to match the situation to solve for the cost of the family pass. Now, in this situation, you see that they've actually given us the letters that they want us to use for the variables. When they do that, we have to actually use the letters that they give us. All right. So we're trying to figure out the cost of a family pass, and they want us to use y for our variable for cost. So our equation or our function is going to start with y equals. We're trying to figure out the cost. I'm going to write that up here. Boop. That's what y means. Now, if we go back, we know that there is a $20 activation fee, and then you get charged for the number of adults you have, the number of teenagers you have, and the number of children you have. All right, so when we have a cost, we know that we're going to be using addition in this. So let's just start building it. Well, we know that you start with a $20 activation fee. So it doesn't tell us, or it doesn't mean if we add 1 person, 3 people, 12 people, it's going to always cost us $20 to activate that pass. So that's going to start my function. Now we're going to add on there. We have to add how many adults you have. So it's $15 for each adult. So adding on to our function, it would be 15. They want us to use a for our variable. So we're going to smash those two together, which means we're going to take 15 times the number of adults there. So 20 plus 15a. We've added the adults. Now we have to add on the teenagers. Teenagers cost $11 for everyone you add on to the pass, and they wanted us to use t for that. So it'd be adding 11 t, because we'd take 11 times the number of teenagers we had in our household. If we had 3, then we just multiply 11 by 3. If we had 1 teenager, 11 times 1. If we had no teenagers, it would be 11 times 0. All right, now we have to add on children. It says children cost $7, so plus 7c for children. And now we have our function. We could solve this. It's a little bit longer, but all we'd have to do is plunk in how many adults, how many teenagers, and how many children we have in our family so that we can figure this out. So what I want you to do is a little bit of a practice. So I want you to stop the video, and I want you to actually figure out what is the cost of your family getting this pass to this aquarium. All right, welcome back. I hope you figured out how much it would cost your family to go. A little bit of practice. So one more situation, and then you'll have a few problems that you're going to be writing with. It says there's a new online movie renting company named VideoFault, and it's offering a special deal. When you sign up, you get your first 2 movies downloads free, and each one after that costs $10. Write a function to match the situation. Now, this problem doesn't have any variables, which means we get to pick our letters. Yay, it's happy day when we get to do that. Oops, I made that small. Let me switch to the pen tool. All right. So we're trying to figure out how much it's going to cost us again. So I'm going to put a C as my starting point of my variable for cost. How much is it going to cost us to figure out how much money we need to spend on movies? Now, this one's a little bit tricky. It tells us that we get our first 2 movies free, and everyone after that costs $10. So I'm actually going to start with the cost here. It's $10 per movie. So I'm going to go $10. I'm going to hit 10, and I'm going to use M as my variable. $10 per movie. Now, we can't just take away 2. A lot of people might think, hey, let's just minus 2. But 10 isn't how many movies we are actually renting. That is our cost. So we have to kind of do one step in our head. If we're trying to figure out our total cost, we have 10 times M minus, well, 2 movies together would be $20. 2 times 10 would be 20. So we're getting kind of a $20 deal here. So to figure out our total cost, we'd figure out, well, how many extra movies have we gone past that? How many movies have we rented? And then we're going to subtract 20, right? Let me show you how this works. If we rent just one movie, 10 times 1 would be 10 minus 20, which would mean we would have negative $10 left, which means we could still rent another movie for free before we got to 0. If we rented 4 movies, 10 times 4 would give us 40. We would take away 20 because we had our first 2 movies were free, which means we would only have to pay $20 on our bill for if we rented 4 movies that month. So with this one, we had to be careful and not just minus 2. We had to actually work it out. So like I said, more complicated functions, we just have to pay attention and really make sure we get all of the information in there. So you're going to go back. I'm going to give you a few situations for your problems, and you're going to be writing these functions to go with them. Good luck.